Campeche, Yucatán Maya, Campeche, English, Free and Sovereign State of Campeche, is one of the 31 states that, with Mexico City, make up the 32 federal entities of Mexico. Located in southeast Mexico, it is bordered by the states of Tabasco to the southwest, Yucatán to the northeast, Quintana Roo to the east, the Petén Department of Guatemala to the south, and the Orange Walk District of Belize to the southeast. It has a coastline to the west of the Gulf of Mexico. The state capital, also called Campeche, was declared a World Heritage Site in 1997. The formation of the state began with the city, which was founded in 1540 as the Spanish began the conquest of the Yucatán Peninsula. The city was a rich and important port during the colonial period but declined after Mexico's independence. Campeche was part of the province of Yucatán but split off in the mid-19th century, mostly due to political friction with the city of Mérida. Much of the state's recent economic revival is due to the discovery of petroleum offshore in the 1970s, which has made the coastal cities of Campeche and Ciudad del Carmen important economic centers. The state has important Mayan and colonial sites, however, these are not as well known or visited as others in the Yucatán. The state's executive power rests with the governor of Campeche, and the legislative power rests with the Congress of Campeche, which is a unicameral legislature composed of 35 deputies. The Tzeltal are an indigenous people of Mexico, mainly in the northern Chiapas highlands in the state of Chiapas. As one of the Maya peoples, their indigenous language is from the Mayan language family, known also as Tzeltal. According to the 2000 census, there were 140,806 speakers of Tzeltal in Chiapas, including 40,000 who were monolingual. In 1554, the Spanish military first invaded Lacandan jungle, where the Lacandan Tzeltal and other indigenous groups lived. At the end of the 1550s, the Spanish invasion forced the Tzeltal and other Mayan groups into settlements called reductions. Eventually, when the reductions were split, the Tzeltal were sent to the north, to Palenque, Tila, and Tumbala. The people sent to these regions were the ancestors of today's Tzeltal. The Tzeltal were forced to work on encomiendas until the Spanish crown gave them a document called the Cédulas Reales, which granted them the land they had worked on for generations. The Maya regions can be divided into three ecological areas: Southern Lowland, Northern Lowlands, and Highlands/Pacific Slope region. The northern area was important because of its salt production, limestone, and cacao production. The limestone was essential to the construction of the Mayan cities and sculptures. The highlands consist of volcanic areas that are surrounded by mountain ranges from the Chiapas to southern Guatemala. The language that is called Tzeltal in English is referred to as Lactayan, our speech. The word Tzeltal refers to both the language and the people. The Tzeltal language consists of three branches: Sabanilla, Tila, and Tumbala. Although some linguists consider them as three different languages, they are commonly known as dialects of the same Tzeltal language. The Tzeltal are a Maya people of Mexico, who chiefly reside in the highlands of Chiapas. The Tzeltal language belongs to the Tzeltalan subgroup of Maya languages. Most Tzeltals live in communities in about 20 municipalities, under a Mexican system called Usos y Costumbres, which seeks to respect traditional indigenous authority and politics. Women are often seen wearing traditional hupils and black skirts, but men generally do not wear traditional attire. Tzeltal religion syncretically integrates traits from Catholic and Native belief systems. Shamanism and traditional medicine is still practiced. Many make a living through agriculture and/or handcrafts, mostly textiles, and many also work for wages to meet family needs. The Tzeltal are one of the descendants of the Maya, which was one of the early and largest Mesoamerican cultures. This group left behind a large number of archaeological sites such as Tikal and Palenque, and the Mayan linguistic group is one of the largest linguistic groups in the Americas, subdivided into Huastec, Yucatec, Eastern Maya, and Western Maya. 2. Mayan civilization reached its height in the Classic period of Mesoamerican chronology, but from 900 to 1200 CE went through a period of decline into smaller, rival city-states, with almost all cities completely abandoned by the 15th century. It is not known to Western scholarship why Mayan civilization collapsed. 3 of 4. From this point on, various Mayan dialect-speaking peoples formed related but distinct cultures with various related languages. The Spanish conquered Mayan territory in the early to mid-16th century, including what is now the state of Chiapas. Over most of the colonial period until the Mexican Revolution, this and other indigenous groups were forced to labor in the mines, mills, and haciendas of the state for little to no wages. Even during the 20th century, economic and political marginalization remained severe, culminating in the Zapatista uprising in 1994, in which many of the Tzeltal people participated along with other indigenous groups. The Canjabal, also known as Canjobal, are a Maya indigenous group residing primarily in Guatemala. Their name itself carries a sense of mystery, doesn't it? Here's what we know about them. The Canjabal population stands at around 208,008. Quite a vibrant community. Their indigenous language, also called Canjabal, is part of the Macro-Mayan language family. It's a language that echoes through the rugged landscapes of the Cucumitan Mountains in the Huehuetenango department. Imagine the mist-shrouded peaks and deep gorges where their words flow. History and challenges. The Canjabal have faced their share of trials. The Spanish conquest in the 1520s disrupted their way of life. European diseases, military conflicts, and missionary settlements took their toll. During the colonial period, private landholders gobbled up their ancestral lands for coffee plantations. Imagine those lush hillsides transformed into coffee fields, both beautiful and heartbreaking. Despite adversity, the Canjabal have persisted. They've held on to their language, culture, and resilience. Life in the highlands, picture this, isolated villages nestled among the mountains. Houses with thatched roofs and walls made of poles. Sweat baths adjacent to homes. It's a simple, rugged existence. Their economy revolves around agriculture. Maize, beans, and squashes grow on milpa plots using swidden, slash-and-burn techniques. But here's the twist, they not only cultivate maize for sustenance but also manage to grow surpluses for sale. Smart, right? Land struggles and migration. The Canjabal lost much of their land to Ladinos, non-indigenous Guatemalans, due to government policies. More than 70% of their lands vanished between 1880 and 1920. Faced with repression and land pressure, some Canjabal folks emigrated to the United States during the mid-1980s. They carried their stories, hopes, and dreams across borders. So, next time you sip your coffee, think of the Canjabal, whose ancestral lands once bore those very beans. Is there anything else you'd like to explore about these remarkable people?